This will be fun. When you're in college, you'll look back at your high school wrestling, and you'll remember your senior night in the Wood Gym, and you'll look at the tape. Oh, look at me there. You'll be a CEO somewhere, and you'll show this to the team, the staff that you lead.
I hope so.
You're going on to college, eh?
Yes, I am.
Yeah.
I'm not sure where I'm going yet, though.
What's your interest?
Business or economics.
Okay.
In that realm.
Yeah. You think you might like to run an operation?
Maybe.
Yeah.
We'll see. It's a long way from now, but
yeah.
Not really, but
it'll sneak up on you.
Yeah.
It really, really will. But hey, Zach, so I wanted to talk to you. One reason that I wanted to talk to you, I remember the first time I saw you. I don't know if you remember what I said to you, but I watched you on the mat. You caught my attention, and you have, in 2 years, so this is your second year, right?
Yes.
Second year. And what you've accomplished in 2 short years is crazy. So I'm just going to ask you to talk a little bit about your first year and what that was like, and how things are going for you this year.
Well, my first year was a little scary because I've never even watched the sport before, and I was coming into it 2 weeks into the season, not knowing anything. I started off with a win, and then I just kept winning. I had a couple tough matches and made my way to states, but didn't place in states.
So why start wrestling? I mean, you never did it. Well, why'd you pick it up?
Because I knew it would help me become a better football player, and it helps with balance and leg strength.
Yeah, and you had, I remember watching you, you just had uncanny balance. What position you play in football?
Defensive line.
You're on the defensive line. So you won your first match, and what'd that feel like?
It was great. I went into it. I didn't know what to expect. I didn't know how it was going to go, what to do.
Yeah.
But I came out on top.
Yeah. Do you remember what your record was?
19-4.
Your first year of wrestling?
Yes.
19-4.
Yeah.
What's your record right now?
20-1.
20-1. Wow. You got to feel good about that, eh?
I do, yeah.
You got to feel way good about that. It's a lot of hard work, eh?
Yeah, it is.
So you started to really supplement football, and why do you stay?
What do you mean?
Why do you stay with wrestling?
Oh, I mean, I like the competition. I like going against hard opponents and pushing into that third round, not knowing what's going to happen, and fighting to the death, or fighting to whoever will win.
Yeah, it's funny you use that term, death. I think some wrestlers take it really seriously. And so, that term will slip out. You don't mean it literally, but for some wrestlers, that is the way they see it. And I think for some, when you see it that way, there's a level of contribution that is extreme.
Definitely.
And it's kind of exciting to see it come out of yourself. Sometimes you don't even know what's in there until it comes out.
I know.
So this year, you're, what are you, halfway through the season now?
Yeah, just about.
Just about halfway through the season.
Mm-hmm.
So you'll probably continue on this same pace. You could rack up quite a number in terms of total wins.
I hope so.
Yeah.
I want to get to, I don't know if it's going to be possible, but I'd love to get to 50, at least with both combined seasons.
Oh, that'd be awesome, wouldn't it? How many more dual match? Well, it's not just dual anymore because you have tournaments that you go to.
We have a dual match this weekend, and then I think we have one more tournament before sectionals. I'm not sure, though. And then a couple other single meets. So.
Yeah, it could be hard because one of the things that happens with good wrestlers, is they take the short route to the finals. when they just go right through winning the winning bracket. But if you lose and you go down in consolations, then you get a chance to wrestle back up.
Yeah.
So you'll get more bouts. But 50, that's a pretty sweet number. Now, would that be a school record?
I have no idea.
Yeah. 50 is a nice number, though. So I was going to ask you something else, too, about, one of the things that you think is different about this sport. You play football. I played 3 different team sports in addition to wrestling myself. I walked away saying there's something a little different about this sport, and I'm curious if you feel that way about it.
I do think there's something different about this sport. It's just you out there in the mat. You can't rely on anyone but yourself, and I like that aspect of it. You can't rely on anyone to help you, anyone to mess up. It's all on you. That's why I like it.
The win is all on you, and so is the loss.
Yeah. Yep.
I think it's interesting. I completely agree. I share that sentiment. And one of the things that I think that turns kids away from the sport is that, too. The inability to handle that weight is just, it seems like today that can be just too much for kids to deal with.
Yeah, that and the toughness of the sport, the conditioning, the mat toughness, getting cross-faced.
Yeah, there's a lot of physical pain in it. Yeah. What happens to you when you're getting beat up? I assume that loss was a match where you got beat up.
It was a close match. I lost 7-6. We went all the way through the 3 periods, and it was back and forth the whole time. I wish I could take it back. I feel like now that I'm halfway through the season, I could have a better chance, and I will see that kid later on this year.
You will?
Yeah.
What team?
Quabbin.
Ooh, Quabbin's always good.
Yeah.
So, do you feel you looking forward to seeing that kid again?
Yes, I am.
You are?
Yeah.
It reminds me of sectionals. I think it was junior year or senior year, one of those, but it was really important. Wrestled a kid, and I lost. So I dropped down into the consolation round, only to come back and see him again there.
Really?
I was really scared. And what I remember is being scared, and that resulted in a determination in me that was like I had never experienced before. I went on to beat him, and I either got second or third in the sectionals as a result of that. But it's interesting that the sport puts you in situations where it is just you. You don't get to take anything out on that mat. There's no equipment. There's no equipment. You're the equipment.
Yeah.
You go out with with what you have, your physical, your mental, and the drive that you have, and the determination that you can muster, and you make things happen essentially because of who and what you are, and that's a unique part of this sport, and I think it really makes kids mature more so than if they had not enjoyed the sport. Now, I think it can happen in any sport, but this sport, the way it's laid out, I do think it's unique that you walk on yourself, you walk off yourself. That's it.
Definitely. And mental toughness is honestly, might be a bigger part than physical toughness. Being on the mat and fighting until the end when you're tired, that's all mental. And if you can't get through that, you can't wrestle. And
I think for heavyweights, that's a big component.
Definitely.
Do you have any? How does that work for you? Because you went your loss. You had 1 or 2 overtime periods. So you're in a place where you're just your whole body is screaming. what do you do to keep going when your body doesn't want to keep going?
You just think about a victory.
You do?
Yep, that's what gets me through it. And you can't think about what you're feeling. Think about what you're going to do to your opponent.
So in some respects, would you say you don't feel the pain?
I feel the pain after, but the adrenaline that I have during the match, I don't feel it during the match.
Yeah, yeah.
But after, the next morning, I definitely feel it.
You do?
Yeah, sometimes.
Is it sore muscles?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, aches and pains, injury stuff that you didn't feel at the time.
I don't know. I'd never feel anything at the time, but after I will.
Yeah. That ability to block that out is, I think it's such an asset. And when you go on to into business school, you're really going to have the same set of circumstances are always presented. Mm-hmm. We always get more than we can handle. And employment, I'm sure your parents, you've watched them in their jobs. There's always an overwhelm or an overload state. I don't care if it's it doesn't matter where. Anything. And it's what you do in those moments. And in your case, I see the victory. Not everybody sees the victory. Some people see the couch, a dark room. I got to get out of here. They see a drink. They just see escape. Mm-hmm. But I think if you can start by doing some things that are hard and see the little victories and see the strength that grows, then you can develop that pattern.
Mm-hmm. Definitely doesn't just come to you. You have to work at it.
I think that's a great point. And I think there's a great showing today. I talked to Coach, and I think he's done an amazing job with the kids over the 10 years. And he's got a good showing this year. And a lot of first-year seniors. Why do you think so many first-year seniors? Because that's a tough decision at that age.
I know. A lot of them are going into the military or the Navy, so I feel like a lot of them are doing it to get into good shape.
Yeah. It served Cash well.
Yeah.
He flew through basic.
Oh, I know.
Yeah. Yeah, and he flew right through, pun intended, airborne school, too.
Oh, really?
The physical was just easy.
Wow.
Yeah. Zach, it was great to see you tonight here. Senior night, seeing this was a gym where we used to wrestle back in the 70s.
Oh, really?
I think, maybe we had about as many fans, but this is a special place. It's a special sport, and I wish you a ton of luck going into the States this year.
Thank you very much.
And you'll be carrying, I think you'll carry Leominster into the States. There might only be one of us.
Thank you, I appreciate that.
I hope it's you.
Thank you.
You're a good kid. So, we're here at Leominster High, watching a practice session. As the year winds down, we're approaching their final home meet, which is going to be Wednesday. And I'm here with one of the Leominster High wrestlers, and your name is?
My name is Tyler Bedard, and I'm in 10th grade. This is my first year wrestling. I joined because I like the physical competition, and I like pushing myself to new boundaries, and I just like this is the off season because I play football, and this during off season I want to stay fit and in shape, so this is a good opportunity for me to get better at both wrestling and football, because it can help you tackle with if you do shots and you get good at them, it will help you tackle in football.
Yeah, what weight are you wrestling at?
I wrestle 138.
138. That was my weight. I wrestled that for 3 years. Interesting. Yeah. So you like pushing physical boundaries.
Yeah.
And do you get enough of that here?
Yeah, actually, there's more work involved in this than football, and I thought it would be the other way around, that football would be harder, but wrestling, a practice at wrestling is a lot harder than football, and I end up being a lot more tired after wrestling than football.
Yeah, that's interesting. It's exactly what I discovered, because I did the very same thing. And I wonder if it's the same for you. I fell in love with wrestling and was satisfied quitting football. No, I'm not telling you to quit, but I think your point is well made. This is a very, very hard sport, and you're saying that it's harder than football.
Yeah, it is. Like, I still haven't mastered the moves yet. Like, it's taking me
yeah.
longer than it would take me to learn something in football that I can learn, like, a practice. And this one takes me, like, 2 months to, like, master, like, a couple moves.
Yeah. And there's a bazillion.
Yeah, it's really hard.
And what's equally complex, not only are there a wide range of moves, but the biomechanics, the mechanical movements of each opponent require an alteration to each of the moves you learn.
Yeah.
Because every opponent is sized a little bit different. Although the same weight, will be sized with different leverage points. So you learn one move, but you have to learn it and be able to apply it on different opponents.
Yeah, because, like, taller people have advantages and disadvantages against other shorter people.
Yeah. What's your worst opponent? Tall, short?
I don't like going against taller opponents.
Yeah.
They're harder. They have longer arms. They can reach out and grab me, like, way easier and get a longer grasp than I can.
Yeah.
And it's tougher to me personally.
Yeah.
I like going against someone either my height or shorter because I feel more like I have an advantage rather than going against someone taller and having a disadvantage.
You think you're going to wrestle next year?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, good. Hey, good to talk to you.
You too. Thank you.
So we're just going to start with your name.
I'm Dorian Delgado.
Dorian, and I believe you're one of this year's captains.
I am.
When did you start wrestling?
My sophomore year, halfway through the year, around.
Why'd you come in?
A lot of people were telling me that I wasn't qualified for the sport, that I wasn't tough enough.
So kind of a dare.
Yeah, like you're not good enough. You're too soft.
What'd you think when you came out and tried it?
At first I thought the sport was kind of weird. You know, getting into the stances and stuff. It was all kind of weird.
So did you think you were tough enough after you tasted it?
Yeah, after I got into it and started getting like used to the sport and like getting my first win and stuff, I started feeling confident in myself and like loving the sport.
Yeah. I remember, last year, were you a sophomore last year?
No, I was a junior last year.
So your first year was 2 years ago?
Yes.
So you're a junior now?
I'm a senior now.
You're a senior. So this will be your last year?
My last rodeo.
Oh, yeah. So you've stuck it out. And so you came in on a dare, and you stayed. Why?
I fell in love with it. The sport's it's the best.
Yeah, why is that?
It just, you can't hide behind other people like in football and stuff. Your hard work pays off on the mat, and it shows that you worked hard when you win.
Yeah. The sport doesn't give you nothing for free, does it?
Nah, you got to work hard for everything.
Yeah.
Every point, every takedown.
Yeah. I remember your first year, actually. So I was here watching Cash. I came to just about every practice and every meet. You got beat up bad.
Yeah.
Year one.
Yeah, my first year, I don't think I won at all.
Yeah, but you also, I remember you got punished, big guy.
Yeah.
I mean, you were just dog meat.
Yeah. I joined halfway through. Everyone already had the experience on me and just tossed me around.
And that's just way tough, though, to get a belly full of that. Practice after practice, meet after meet, and still come back.
Yeah.
Now, I think, so I'm here to say, I think that kind of discipline under that kind of pressure, you take that anywhere, and that pays dividends. And right now, one of the payoffs, here you are, senior year, a captain.
Yeah.
I think that's pretty amazing.
Yeah. It's all crazy to me that a couple years ago, I was someone who couldn't even win, and now I'm a captain on the wrestling team and stuff.
Yeah. So how about those kiddos that gave you that dare? They know you're a captain now?
No, I don't think none of them stuck with it. They all quit.
Yeah.
I was the only one that stuck with it, I think.
That's a great story.
Yeah.
And I'm glad you did stick with it.
Yeah.
I'm really happy to see you as a captain because I think you give a great lesson to folks that want to work hard. There's something there if you work hard. There's something to be discovered, something to be enjoyed. And it's a formula that when you take off, you go on to college, you go on to a job, that formula will be used over and over again if you want to go somewhere. Good to talk to you.
Good to talk to you too.
And your name is?
Jacob Bible.
Jacob. So when did you start wrestling?
I started wrestling at like the age of 6. Quit.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it wasn't for me at the time. Came back 2 years ago in 8th grade. Then I've been doing it since.
Okay. So you said you started at age 6 or grade 6?
Like I was 6 or 7. I don't remember the
Really?
exact age. Yeah.
So you started in the youth program?
Yeah.
Nice. Okay. So when you came back, I'm assuming you came back because you decided you wanted to.
Yes.
Yeah. Why'd you want to?
Like I just been like watching a bunch of sports. I've been doing football for a long time too, and like I usually take a break after fall sports. And I felt like with like doing more sports would be better for me. I did it again just for an extra sport. I was planning on doing one more year, then like leaving. But I just like loved it so much doing it in the youth team over here after the high school was done. I like had to. I loved it so much.
So what year are you?
I'm in sophomore, grade 10.
Sophomore, okay. And what weight class are you wrestling at?
I'm in the 220 weight class.
Okay. How's that going for you?
Beginning of the year, I was doing great, 7-0. I lost a
Really?
couple. Yeah.
Congrats.
Yeah, I came back from a concussion 2 days, not 2 days ago, I'm sorry, like 4 or 5 days ago.
Yeah. Jeez. That's a big boys, tough weight class. Good for you. Good for you. So why do you stay with it? What do you love about it?
Oh, it's the competition. It's amazing. Traveling all over Massachusetts, the competition, it's so addictive.
Yeah. What's addictive about it?
I don't know. It's just like the grappling and all. Like the grappling and like the seeing who's the better man.
Yeah.
If that makes sense. Yeah.
Well, it does. But the only way to get there is you got to go through a ton of pain for that experience. And that's not what a lot of kids are willing to do today. Why do you think you do? Why are you willing to absorb so much pain for that possible win?
It's so weird because like you have to like love it to do it. Like if you like hate pain, then no, this isn't for you. There's so many people that think like, oh, just like a bunch of sweaty men rolling around on the dirt. Yeah. No, it's so much more.
Yeah.
It's like constant being in the gym when you're not wrestling. It's constant paying attention to all the moves, focusing.
Yeah. Hey, great to talk to you.
Thank you.
Good luck on Wednesday. We'll be here to see you.
Thank you. Have a good day.
So here we go. Your name is?
My name is John Lucas De Souza.
John?
Lucas De Souza. It's like John Lucas is like the whole first name.
Sounds good. John Lucas, how old are you?
I'm 14.
Is this your first year?
No, this is my 4th.
Your 4th year of wrestling?
Yes.
So you were also in the youth program?
Mm-hmm.
Ah, good. And what did you think about the transition from youth wrestling to high school wrestling?
Oh, it's definitely like much harder in high school. Like in youth, it's like there's a lot of like breaks, I guess you could say.
And tumbling kind of experience?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
They take it easy on like the little kids and stuff like that. So it's definitely much harder now.
Now, when you started in the youth program, was that because you saw it, you were interested, or did your folks stick you in it?
Funny story is, I watched a movie and there's a scene with like the kids were like wrestling, and I thought that was pretty good. And then like a couple weeks or so, I got like past this like flyer like to join wrestling, and then my mom was urging me to play a sport because I was like fat. So I was like, yeah, I should probably join wrestling. It seems like fun, and I ended up like loving the sport.
Yeah, and so you're wrestling at what weight?
160.
160. That's middleweights are tough weights.
Yeah.
How you holding up there?
Well, I lost plenty of times, but like I'm learning from it.
Yeah.
A lot of like tall guys. I'm pretty short for my weight class.
Yeah. So you're getting beat up. This is a sport that'll beat you up.
Yeah.
And a lot of kids that get beat up don't like to get beat up, and they leave the situation where they kind of get beat up in. But you're staying in this sport. What keeps you in it despite, because one thing about wrestling is when you get beat up and you lose in wrestling, it's like humiliation.
Yeah, because it's like just you and one other guy. Everyone sees it.
Everyone sees it. You walk on by yourself, you walk off by yourself, and you carry the load of the loss or the joy of the win. So you get beat up, but you keep coming back. What keeps you coming back?
The fact that I could keep getting better.
Good for you. Good. John Lucas, good to talk to you.
Good to talk to you too.
Your name is?
Dominic Pizzerella.
Dominic. And what year are you?
I'm a sophomore.
Is this your first year?
Yes.
Why'd you come out?
I came out, well, my friend was on the team originally. He ended up leaving, but he told me to join, and I thought it would be great conditioning, so I thought I would start.
Is that great conditioning for your primary sport or just for personal?
For both. I also play baseball, and I wanted to be in shape for that, but just in general, just being in shape.
So you're here pretty much at the end of the season, so you stayed the course.
Yeah.
Why?
I like it. It's really fun. I like to it makes you tough. I really like it. Just everything about it, like the practices, it makes you tougher. It gets you more in shape. It's just a good sport.
First kid to say tough. And what does that mean for you?
Means like, I guess, the ability to push through something no matter what. So I feel like this sport prepares me for that.
Well said. Well said. I completely agree. Kind of takes me back a bit, but it shares some of my own experience with the sport. It does make you tough. And not tough in a bad way, but tough in a good way. Because life is kind of tough.
Yeah.
And if you're going to get through it, you're going to have to toughen up over time. Because as you go on, it does kind of get harder. I think you have an unusual awareness for one that's rather young to know the value of toughening and that it's actually beneficial for you. It's kind of cool is what I'm saying. So what's your weight?
160.
Oh, you're 160 also. Now, are you 160 varsity?
Yes.
You are? Okay. How's your season going first year? It's got to be hard.
Yeah, it's not the best.
Yeah.
But I've had some good wins. So in the beginning, I had some pretty good wins like when I started at JV. I think I'll be ready for next year.
You've made that decision already.
Yeah.
Good for you. I'm glad. Thanks. It was great to talk to you.
Thank you.
So your name is?
Starling Perez.
Starling. I'm Pat.
Nice to meet you.
So what weight are you?
I am 170, but I was 160 last week because my weight kind of dropped. But I'm getting it back.
So you wrestling varsity?
Yeah.
And you wrestle varsity at 170?
I wrestled varsity at 170. I wrestled 182. Coach bumps me up sometimes.
Got it. Okay, so if based on the competition, he'll decide where he wants to put you.
Yeah.
Okay. So you'll be wrestling on Wednesday.
Yes, I will.
All right. Marlboro, tough team.
I've heard.
Yeah. The way I look at Marlboro is kind of the wrestling equivalent of the Turkey Day game. You know, that's our rival, and they happen to be red too. So, but they always field a tough team. What year are you?
I am a senior, sadly.
Is this your first year of wrestling too?
Yes. I wish I could go back to my freshman year and start wrestling so much earlier. I mean, I'm happy to be graduating, but I feel like I like wrestling a lot. I really do. That's just how I feel about wrestling.
So, as a senior, really unusual to pick a sport that you never did.
Mm-hmm.
Why'd you pick it? Why'd you do it?
Some of the captains. I mean, Dorian's been telling me to join the wrestling team for years. I never really paid attention to it though.
Mm-hmm.
Then, ever since junior, I've been trying to join the army, and I met Andre this year, and he was trying to join the army too. And he told me that this would help me. So I was like, yeah, maybe I'll join. So I started for that.
It will help. My nephew Cash wrestled 4 years, 2-year captain. Just finished basic, no problem with the physical. Finished airborne, his words, no problem with the physical. And that's where they filter out a lot of kids. A lot of young men he mentioned there were several wrestlers. None of them had any difficulty with the physical portion. So the sport will build you solid, rock solid for that. To your credit, to pick it up as a senior. So anyway, you said you fell in love with it.
Yeah, I did.
You know, why? What captivated you about this sport?
Every day you'd come in and you'd learn something new. When I first started, like the first days, I guess I thought it would be different. I thought we'd just go in, wrestle each other, be on the mat, just one-on-one, wrestling every day. But no, we work hard. We do a lot of conditioning. We fool around sometimes, but
you work hard more.
Yeah. Coach doesn't like it when you fool around. So I try to work hard, and I know how to differentiate. I know when I need to work, and I know when I can fool around. So, but wrestling, it takes a lot of guts, and when you're on the mat and you're gonna get pinned, all you can do is fight. You have to fight. You have to tough it out. When you're in a headlock, and you have to choke yourself in order to get out of that headlock.
Yeah,
it's tough.
Yeah. That's so you take me back a bit. I remember being in a match where I was getting beat up bad, and I was losing by points, and I was in a pinning combination. I had a thought occurred to me. I wonder if it ever occurred to you to just exhale and flatten and listen to the hand slap the mat, and then you're free. It's over. The pain stops. Has it ever occurred to you to not take the pain, to not try to escape and beat that pin?
I've only been wrestling for a little, so I can't say I felt that. Sometimes I'll go into the mat like half-hearted. I would say.
Okay.
And I've noticed every time I go into a match half-hearted, I always lose. I try not to, but it's sometimes you're just out of it. You know what I'm saying?
Wednesday, I don't want you to be out of it. It's going to be one of your last. And regardless of the situation that you face, and you're probably going to face a more experienced opponent. This is your first year. You're going to get up against a multi-year opponent. You're going to have a battle. Get your head right with it and fight the good fight, big guy. Fight with honor, and wherever it goes, but give it everything you've got.
That's the plan.
All right, man.
Nice to meet you.
Good to talk to you. Your name is?
Anthony Larson.
Anthony, and I happen to know that you're a captain this year.
Yeah.
What year are you?
I'm a senior.
You're a senior. You've been wrestling since?
Oh, man. Second grade, I think? Yeah, I think it's been second grade for a while.
No, second grade. Who made that pick?
My dad.
Yeah.
Because he wrestled in high school. He's like, there's a youth program. Let's get you in it. You're about old enough, so
yeah.
Tried it out.
So you stayed with it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Why are you staying with it?
The conditioning mostly for like other sports. It's obvious. It's not my number one choice, but I enjoy it. It's fun. It's tough. Keeps me conditioning during the winter when I've nothing else going on between football and lacrosse season. So yeah, I like it. I like it a lot.
Yeah.
Keeps me tough.
What's the weight that you're wrestling this year?
152.
52. How's your season going?
Not bad. It wasn't as good as last season. It's a lot tougher weight class, a lot tougher wrestlers. Obviously stronger, quicker.
Yeah.
I think it's the toughest weight class, probably besides 160, in my opinion. I haven't wrestled 160, but.
Well, pound for pound, I think if you look at the power, power, strength, weight relationship.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
The quickest kids that can pack the most strength.
Yeah. And power and pain.
Yep.
They can bring it.
Yep. Yep. For sure.
What's your record?
Oh, man.
Are you better than 50-50?
Yeah, a little bit better than 50-50. I think I'm about 65% winning. I'm not sure. I haven't been keeping much track, but the last time I was keeping track, I was 10-6.
Yeah.
Which was, I don't know, a month ago maybe. So.
Yeah. So I'm going to ask you a different question because you're unique. There's probably nobody on the mat that's got your experience. So if somebody was watching this, in addition to your mom and dad, maybe someone who's thinking about wrestling, what would you tell them about this sport to help them make a pick?
It has the best cross training out there so if they're worried about another sport, best cross training out there. It's going to keep you tough, like I said before. Toughest sport around, I think.
You think it's tougher than football?
Yeah, for sure, 100%. The conditioning is nowhere near the same as football. And then, when I played football, wrestling, all the things I learned in wrestling helped with football. Tackling, stock blocking, everything helped a lot.
That's, yeah. I happen to agree with you. I think you're right on, and I hope there's a lot of kids that are listening to the two messages that you said. This sport, number one, will prepare you for any sport. So if you're not sure what you want to do, start here.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
Okay? Because you will leave these mats with something that you can put into any other sport. And I think the other thing you said, I'm going to capitalize, toughness. I think there's a huge vacuum out there that many young men carry today, and I think it's a lack of toughness. I hope people aren't insulted. This is not me hating someone, but there's a big honking vacuum there. I'm pleased to hear you say that, because I think if you want it, you're going to have to do something to get that toughness, because it doesn't come out of a bag of Cheetos or off the internet.
I mean, if someone tells me they're a wrestler, I instantly have respect for them because I know what they go through. I know what practice is. I know it's tough. I know they can hang with it, so I know that obviously they're a man if they can take it. Or a woman. I mean, depending upon who's wrestling.
But tough comes in any gender.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
And any gender can use tough and benefit from tough.
Yep.
Good to talk to you, Anthony.
Yep. Thank you.
I am guessing you play football too.
Yeah.
All right. What's your name?
Kanan Sullivan.
Kanan. And what weight are you wrestling?
Heavyweight, 285.
So heavyweight is 285 and up.
Yeah.
Is that right?
Yeah, I'm exactly 285.
Okay. So good. And is this your first year or you've been at it a bit?
Second year wrestling.
Second year. So you went through the first year.
Yeah.
Why'd you make the choice to join last year?
I had a friend told me hey, I'm gonna do wrestling. You'd probably be really good at it. So you want to do it with me? I was like, yeah, sure. I didn't really know what I was getting myself into. And then the first practice came around. I was like, oh boy, this is some tough stuff. First day, I was like, I don't know if I want to do this, but I was like, you know what? I'll come the second day, give it a shot. And you know what? I was like, you know what? I think I'll stick with this rest season. Seems like a pretty good sport.
Why'd you stick with it?
I think it was mostly just to challenge myself, really. It was definitely every practice is really hard. I just really wanted a challenge,
Good for you. Yeah, I'm going to acknowledge that, because I just think that's something it's a hard choice for a kid to make.
Yeah.
Why would you want to challenge yourself when you can sit down and relax?
Exactly.
You can watch TV, you can play video games. So I'm really asking you seriously, why do you want to challenge yourself?
I don't know, just maybe do something different. I mean, I don't know, just I've been competitive a little bit all my life, and I really wanted to try something really challenging and try to push myself, see how hard I can push myself. And that's really it.
This sport will let you push yourself as hard as you want, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. So are you happy with what you're seeing in terms of what's coming out of you?
Yeah.
The effort that you're putting forth?
Yeah, definitely. A lot better from last year. I went from not getting a single win last year to getting some wins this year. Definitely improved a lot from last year. So those wins keep making me stick with the sport even more. It makes it really addicting. I want my hand raised at the end of matches, It feels amazing.
What year are you?
Sophomore.
Sophomore. Gonna wrestle next year?
Yeah, definitely wrestling for the rest of high school.
Good man. Good man. What's your name?
Lewis.
Lewis, I'm Pat.
Nice to meet you.
Lewis, what year are you?
I'm a senior, my first year wrestling.
You're a senior, and this is your first year?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so you're the second guy that's a senior first year wrestling that we've talked to. Why would you pick up wrestling?
It's great exercise. I'm trying to join the military right after high school. Thank you. It's just awesome. I hear that you just fly through boot camp once you endure the pain that, is on the mat all the time, especially in practices, especially with conditioning and everything. So, yeah. it's just great exercise. So.
What branch?
Army.
Okay. Yeah. Did you know Cashman?
I didn't get to know him. I hear all about him though.
Yeah. Well, he'll tell you that.
Yeah.
He went through basic, and the physical was, his words, nothing. Airborne was nothing, the physical portion of it. So, yes, he was well prepared via this sport.
Yeah.
And so will you. So how's your season going? How are you finding it?
It's really tough, especially it being my first year wrestling, just picking up on techniques and everything. I'm like 9-16, including like JV matches and everything. So I'm the 220, so it's like there's competition here and there, and sometimes I'll get lucky, I want to say, and meet another first-year wrestler, and it'll just be a battle from there.
Yeah.
And,
yeah. You know, I got to give you props for, 9 wins.
Yeah.
You know, your very first year at the sport. Maybe those 9 were first year. Who knows for sure?
Yeah.
But you probably had a mix of first year and more experienced wrestlers. My hunch is you're a fighter.
Yeah, for sure.
And I mean that in a good way.
Yeah, of course.
So when you go out on the mat, you intend to win?
Yeah, every time. Sometimes it'll be really intimidating, obviously, because I'll be outsized by height at least, because 220 is like, it's a bigger weight class, and I'm like shorter, I want to say. But yeah, you always have to have good thoughts going onto the mat, because if not, you're already beaten once you go out there with a bad mindset. So yeah. So
Wednesday you're going to face Marlborough.
Yep.
You're going to have a tough opponent. Marlborough's always putting out a pretty tough team. They have generally, or they have in the past, more wrestlers than us. So in that situation, you have the opportunity to do wrestle-offs, and your best wrestler comes through. So you're probably going to have a tough match. So you're going to have to get ready for a fight.
Yeah, for
and
sure.
So Wednesday, you're going to show me a good fight.
Yeah.
Atta boy.
It's not the worst match I've had so far. It was Algonquin, the Algonquin 220.
Always tough.
Yeah, I was out strength. I felt it right away. I was out techniques. I was out heighted, I want to say. It was just ridiculous.
Okay, I can remember situations like that.
Yeah.
What happens to you when you know that's the case? When you know your opponent is stronger?
Yeah.
In my case, I knew that as soon as we tied up. I knew who was stronger.
Okay.
And then first move told me who had more technique.
Yeah.
What do you do when it starts stacking up against you? What happens inside your head?
There's obviously a lot of panic going on.
Yeah.
And you just fall back on what you know, for me at least. So it just comes down to shots, just taking good shots, especially being smaller and less stronger, I want to say. So, yeah, you just stick to what you know, and you hope for the best, really, and you just fight. And, yeah.
I think that's the big thing or what this sport can give you is an opportunity to face fear.
Yeah.
Obviously, what I just described creates a sense of fear.
Yeah.
It would be nice to not be afraid. But here you are in a situation, and you're damn scared. And dealing with it, I think, is what this sport can give you. It's an opportunity to be in a shithole.
Yeah, for sure.
and now what?
Yeah, exactly. You just get used to it.
Well, I think it's a good thing
to
have exposure to it, because there's going to be more of it coming. And if you're heading towards the military, it's not going to be just, ice cream sundaes and filet mignon and relaxing.
Not at all.
You're going to have a battle. You're going to have a fight, and you're going to do well.
Thank you very much.
Good luck to you.
Thank you.
So what's your name?
Caleb.
Caleb. Now, Caleb, I'm going to start in a different place with you, because I watched your previous home meet. And if you watch the tape of that, you'll hear me saying, I can't believe he got out of that pinning combination again. So I saw you up against an opponent that was scary to look at, right? So that guy was jacked. and he pretty quickly put you into your first pinning combination. I think you faced 5, 6 different pinning, each of which was deadly. I have never seen anyone fight so hard to get out of a pin as you that night. So I'm thinking you're a little unique, Caleb. So you got to tell me, what is it in you that drives to get your shoulders off the mat?
I don't like losing. I've always wrestled my brother growing up, and he always beats me every time because he's older and he has the more experience. So I always think of it as I'm beating my brother if I get up off the mat.
I love it. I love it. That's a hard thing to do, and I think life has a way of knocking us off balance, and those that just keep getting up. At the end of the day, those are the ones that win. And so I completely agree with you. Getting up is the win.
Yeah.
Now, you didn't go on to have your hand raised, but man, I got to agree, you won big that night. So what weight are you wrestling this year?
195.
195. And when did you start wrestling?
Last year was my first year.
Last year. What year are you?
2021. So I'm a sophomore now.
Ooh, okay. So you've got some more miles to go.
Yeah.
Yeah. Are you gonna finish? You gonna stay with the wrestling?
Yeah, I like to do wrestling. It gives me something to do in the off season for football. It keeps me active, and it's a brutally challenge to your body, which I like.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. How would you compare it to football? A couple of the other guys are football players and did a quick compare. So I'm curious your opinion on comparing the two sports.
Wrestling is definitely a lot more conditioning, and you have to pay attention to certain little things more, because if you don't, then one little thing could lead to a pin. While football, you miss one little thing, and they might get the extra step on you, but they won't get the win over you from one step.
Yeah. So it's a sport that details matter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Attention to detail.
Yeah. How's your season going this year?
Not the best. I'd like to not lose as much as I did, but I did definitely doing a lot better than I did last year.
Yeah, so you see that and that feels good.
Yeah.
And you'll do even better next year. And senior year, you'll be placing in the States.
I'm hoping so.
I think so. I mean, the fight I see, this is a sport that it's about fighting. And fighting off your shoulders is the hardest fight to muster. And that's why I just think that you've got a lot more that's going to come to you through this sport. Because in the hardest situation, I've never seen anyone fight harder.
Thank you.
There are places in this sport where it's easier to fight hard, like when you're on top.
Yeah.
Right? You can be very, crushing and bear down hard. But when you're on the bottom, that's when it is way tough to find something inside, because you have to overcome a lot. I'm assuming that these pins the other night were painful.
There was one that got me that kind of I felt my shoulders kind of click together. That kind of hurt. But other than that, in the moment, it doesn't hurt. I feel like it's just one of those things that it's not comfortable to be in. And then afterwards, the match is when you feel the pain and you feel the soreness of your body.
Yeah. Well, I think that's because you are a bit of a beast, and you do not realize how much pain you're in. You block that pain, and you get yourself the heck out of there no matter what. The pinning combinations you were in were absolutely brutal pinning combinations. I think you were in a double chicken wing once.
Yeah, I was.
Nobody gets out of that. People die in there. That's great. Anyway, senior year, you're going to finish in the States, and you've got 2 more years to get yourself ready for that. And I think you can get there. You got a great attitude. I wish you luck. I wanna see some tape where you're a state champ.
All right, thank you.
Your name is
Ryan Kanakia.
Ryan. What year wrestler are you?
I'm a sophomore.
Is this year 1?
This is my second year.
Second year. So you came out freshman year.
Yeah.
What brought you out?
I was just after football practice walking around school, and I just saw ads for wrestling. I thought to give it a go, and I've been doing it ever since. So.
What did you think you would get out of it?
Like conditioning for football, and I thought I should try new things in high school because I was a freshman, getting new to everything, and didn't want to, leave the only thing I don't know. I just didn't want to only do football.
Yeah. So you were willing to kind of just try something out of the blue, totally brand new.
Yeah.
Yeah, good for you. So now you're near the end of your second year. So you chose it again.
Yeah.
Why'd you choose it? Why'd you choose to stay with it now?
Felt that I had a lot to improve on, and I just like the sport. It's in football you can hide behind 11 people, and
yeah, it's true.
Like I kind of did, admittedly.
Yeah.
And but football, wrestling, it's all out there. All the work you put in, and all the hours of practice.
How's your season going for you?
My season, I'm not doing great, admittedly. I think I'm like 5-17. That's including JV and varsity, but I'm trying to get the hang of things and improve.
Yeah, and you want to stay with it, and you want to improve. Yeah, while getting beat up.
Yeah, definitely.
So that's interesting to me. I'm going to pause there for a minute because most people, when they have lots of failures or losses, just want to move away from it and separate themselves from that and move towards something else that feels better.
Yeah, I know what that's like.
So how come you're hanging in there, though? You're not walking away.
Freshman year, I've only told a couple people this. I actually quit in the middle of the season, and I talked with Coach Ian, and I was like making up some excuse like, oh, my neck hurts. And I was just kind of hiding the fact that like I couldn't handle the sport. And I did like it, but like I was just losing a lot and I couldn't handle it. And then a couple days later, one of the wrestlers texted me and convinced me to come back. And it's kind of the failures that sort of inspire you to want to do better. So, yeah.
That is well said.
Yeah.
I think anyone that can look at failure and get up and do it again is someone that will never lose over the long haul.
Definitely.
A loss today or tomorrow. A loss is a loss.
Yeah.
I make a distinction between loss and failure. Failure is when you stop trying, when you give up. That's failure. But losses will always come. And what you do with them is what makes the difference between the long haul and the short term.
Absolutely.
I'm really pleased you made that decision.
Yeah.
And I know this sport makes that decision a hard decision to make because you'll come back. You'll get that text. You'll come back.
Definitely, yeah.
Excuse my language, but you get the shit kicked out of you again when you come back. And so if you're going to stay here, you're going to have to deal with that level of pain and discomfort.
Yes.
You're going to have to overcome a lot of discomfort.
Yeah.
That's really hard to do.
It is.
It's really hard to, and I think it's one of the things that connects all wrestlers. You know, I'm here from eons ago, but we share that similarity, the ability and the willingness to take a little more pain than we think we could, and sometimes find out that, geez whiz, I didn't know I could do that.
Yeah.
You're going to have a tough match on
Wednesday.
But you'll do well as long as you just do your best. Hey, wish you luck.
All right. Thank you, man.
Good job, Ryan. Glad you came. So are you going to stay the two more? Are you going to finish out your last?
Absolutely.
For sure?
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah, good man. Good man. Right. We'll see you.
See ya.
What's your name?
My name is Dolan Paniagua.
Say again.
Dolan Paniagua.
Dowling.
Nice to
I'm
meet you.
Pat. Good to meet you. What is your weight?
I weigh 184, and I fight in the 195 weight class.
So you're going 195 for the varsity?
Oh, yes.
Okay. Is this your first year?
Yes, this is my first year.
What year school?
I am a sophomore.
Sophomore. Okay. What brought you out?
My friend Antonio, he's been doing this is his second year doing it, and he played football with me. And yeah, he told me about wrestling, and had no winter sport to do, so I said, hey, let's go do wrestling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And here you are near the end of the season,
Yeah.
and so you decided to stay with it. You didn't quit.
No, I didn't quit.
Yeah. You think about quitting?
This is a tough sport, and it makes you want to quit, but
The thought can cross your mind.
yeah, but I was brought up to you can never quit, so
Good boy.
I like to stay in the sport because it makes you it gives you that feeling to quit, but I don't want to.
Yeah. It takes you right to that door. You're absolutely right. And a match can take you right to that place.
Oh yeah.
I remember being, on my shoulders, looking at the lights and saying, man, if I just exhale and listen to that hand on the mat, I'm done. I'm out of here.
Oh, yeah.
No more pain. I can sit on the bench and just relax. So quitting is very much a part of this sport and very much a part of what the athlete has to deal with.
Oh yeah.
So do you think you're going to wrestle next year?
Oh yes, definitely.
So that's a definite for you.
Yes.
Yeah. So there's something in here that is holding on to you.
Oh yeah. I just love how the sport just pushes me to the max every time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's amazing to me how people seem to respond to being pushed.
Yeah.
There's something about that. And I think it's what comes out of them. I think you get impressed when you see what comes out of you.
Oh yeah, of course.
Right?
Yes, definitely.
What have you seen out of you that you've really liked?
So I used to do jiu-jitsu, and I noticed that with wrestling, my technique with everything has gotten way better. I love just how I've progressed throughout the sport. Before I couldn't even win a match, but now I'm like starting to get to that point near the end of the season where I can win matches.
You got some wins?
Yes.
You do?
Yes. This past match that we had, I actually got a nice win. Yeah.
That's awesome. I mean, so first year, that's tough.
Yeah.
Because the chances of pulling a first-year wrestler at the other side, is maybe it's 50-50, depending on the school.
Yeah.
But you may have gotten a first year or a more experienced wrestler. Pull out a win year one is just big. Congrats. And you had to work way hard, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very hard.
So you're going to be wrestling on Wednesday?
Yes, I am.
You are. Good.
Yeah.
So we'll be there Wednesday. We'll be watching you and just give it hell.
Thank you.
What's your name?
Robert.
Robert. And Robert, how many years have you been wrestling?
This is my first year.
First year. What year school?
Huh?
What years are you a freshman?
Sophomore.
You're a sophomore. So why'd you choose wrestling?
I did jiu-jitsu for a while.
Oh, yeah.
So it's pretty similar, but I wanted to expand because I wanted to do MMA in the future.
Oh, like that sport.
Yeah, and then so wrestling is a really good base for that. So.
Yeah, it is. So you are not afraid of discomfort and pain?
No.
No? Yeah. In fact, you rather enjoy it?
Kinda. Not really, but kinda.
Yeah. What is the weight class you're in?
220.
220. Now, are you wrestling varsity?
JV.
JV. Okay. All right. Are you going to wrestle next year?
Yeah, I hope to. Yeah.
Yeah. What have you enjoyed most about the sport?
Competitive aspect of it and the team aspect of just being with the team.
Yeah.
I don't know, it's like a brotherhood family.
Yeah, it is. I think one of the guys said we all relate to the fact that it's a really hard sport.
Yeah.
And we all know that everybody has put up with a lot to be here. So no matter who you are, what age you are, you're related in that you've gone through an experience that's like way tough.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So you're gonna wrestle again next year?
Yeah, definitely. Hopefully. Yeah.
Yeah. Good for you. Good for you. So good to talk to you.
Good to talk to you.
And good luck with your MMA pursuit.
Thank you.
Your name is?
Andre.
Andre.
Yep.
Andre,
Crespo.
you are a second-year wrestler?
Yes.
And you're a senior this year?
Yes.
Yeah. Why'd you come out for wrestling?
Well, I didn't study in the United States, so when I was in Puerto Rico, I saw a few videos of wrestling, but because in Puerto Rico we didn't have that sport didn't exist at all. After what happened with the hurricane and whatnot, I came here and I saw some sheets up on the wall saying, meet up with Coach Sheehan about wrestling, and I was interested, so I just joined it.
So you were just automatically interested in wrestling.
Right.
Why do you think you were?
Well, I think I was just I consider myself really competitive when it comes to it, and I like to push myself when it comes to conditioning and wrestling, and to prove myself that I do good. So I think that's why I did it as well.
Yeah. And you happen to be a captain.
Yes.
So here you are, second year, and you're a captain. So congrats on that.
Yeah, thank you.
Because that puts you in a leadership position. And you're wrestling at what weight this year?
At 145.
145. So that's a tough division.
Right.
Typically.
Mm-hmm.
That's when speed and power seem to be, they come together in that weight, and a lot of stamina too. How's your season going?
It's been pretty good. I mean, I lost a bunch of matches in the beginning, but as long as I got used to it more, I've been winning more and doing better.
Yeah. Yeah, 2 years of wrestling is not a lot of wrestling. Just you could apply that to any sport. 2 years in any sport at this age would usually put someone way, way behind. Now, I've watched you a little bit. I think you do something to catch up.
Right.
And I'm going to ask you, what do you think you do that has you really winning matches? You're winning matches, and you're captain. So there's something about you that is a little different and a little extra special. What do you think it is?
Well, when I go on the mat, usually when you go on the mat, you can't hear anything else, right? You just focus on your guy and you focus on wrestling. I train myself to listen to Coach while I'm wrestling. So in that moves that he tells me to hit, I try to hit them. If I can't hit it at that second, I just try to set it up and hit it and execute it.
Mm-hmm.
That's all I do. I just listen to Coach, and he helps me out through the whole process of the match. Yeah.
Good for you.
All right, thank you.
So you figured that out.
Right.
One of the complexities about the sport is there's a bazillion moves.
Right.
And then you have to apply those moves to people that are different sizes, dimensions, and levels of strength.
Yep.
So the move you learn on the match isn't necessarily applied in the match and magically works, because that you may have to make real-time adjustments to that move for that opponent.
Right. Exactly.
So the sport, what I'm getting at is the sport is just very complex, and there's a lot to take in just 2 years.
Right. Yeah, of course. I think one of the most difficult opponents that I think I see is that, that classic matchup of the small and bulky guy with the tall and skinny guy.
Yeah.
They find it kind of difficult. I feel it's easier for them than for me.
Yeah.
But when I see someone my height and the same size as me, we go the whole match, and it's just, I prefer it that way.
Yeah.
But it's just difficult when it comes to that point where you have to wrestle someone who's taller and longer than you.
Yeah. Andre, you have your last home match on Wednesday. We'll be there to watch you wrestle Marlborough, and looking for another good one. You're always exciting, and I've noticed that you do fight with a passion, and I like to see it. I like to watch it.
Yeah, of course.
And win or lose, you are always in it to win it.
Yeah.
So look forward to Wednesday.
All right, thank you. Appreciate it. All right.
So, ready for battle. What's the battle?
Just being ready, I guess.
It could be anywhere, anytime, so just be ready.
Yeah.
What's your name?
Robert Wheeler.
Robert. And what year school are you?
What year do I graduate?
Oh,
well,
no.
I'm freshman.
You're currently a freshman?
Freshman, yeah.
Freshman. Is this your first year wrestling? Why'd you come out?
Get ready for football.
Ah, you're a football player. Okay. And you've gotten through pretty much the whole season.
Yep.
How's season 1 going for you?
It's all right. I mean, I got to wrestle older classmen. Which is
Yeah.
a little
Yeah.
difficult because I go against older people that have more experience.
Yeah.
But I do all right.
Do you have any wins?
I have a couple.
Yeah.
I have like 3 JV and 1 varsity.
Yeah. That's really pretty amazing when you think about it. You know, if you compare that to any other sport, you know, if you jumped into any high school sport, year 1 was your first year at it, chances are you'd suck.
Yeah.
But you know what's interesting though? You didn't leave. How come you just didn't leave?
I mean, it was kind of difficult in the beginning because I didn't really know what I was doing. And
Yeah.
I got a hang of it, and I just worked my way through it.
Yeah. But why go through all the bother of working through? Why not just check out?
I'm not a quitter.
Ah, why is that?
What's the point? Learn something new.
Do you think there are a lot of quitters today, though? Or are you just like everybody else?
I don't try to be like everyone else. I just go where I do what I can to succeed.
I think that's one of the things about this sport, too. It takes someone who is not a quitter, because this sport delivers a lot of pain and discomfort, which most people have a tendency to just want to move away from. You know, why the hell stay with it? So you're not a quitter, and you've stayed with it. You think you're going to wrestle next year?
Yes.
Yeah. Why next year? Why are you going to – right now you know you're going to wrestle next year. What do you think you're going to get out of it?
I mean, can help in an everyday life, something like that, I guess.
Yeah, well, I think that's true. I think everyday life is pretty tough on people. And if you don't quit, I think you got a pretty good chance of everyday life. And I think if you apply that, take that from the mat into everyday life, I think you're going to do just fine. What's the weight you're wrestling at?
132.
That's a tough weight class.
It is.
Yeah. So are you wrestling Wednesday?
Yes.
You are. You're going to wrestle varsity.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. You ready?
Yep.
Yeah. So Marlboro is usually pretty good in the middle weights. Those kids are tough in those weights. So you're going to have a battle. We're going to be there. We're going to get it all on film. And you just, tell you what, just don't quit.
Oh.
All right, man. Good job.
Thank you.
You two are on the wrestling team. And your name is?
Elena and Amber.
And how many years of wrestling?
This is my 2nd year.
This is my first.
Are you the reason she's here?
Yes.
All right, then I'm going to start with you. Why did you start wrestling?
My friend Bina was on the wrestling team.
Bina.
Yeah. Yeah, so I was playing basketball before, but I wanted to try something new. So I tried wrestling.
So there's a lot of things to try.
Yeah.
Why did you choose wrestling?
It seems like a tough sport, and I really wanted to give it a try. I just wanted all the, I saw all their workouts and everything.
Yeah.
I wanted to try it.
Yeah. And is it as tough or tougher than you thought?
Tougher, a lot tougher.
Yeah. I talked to the guys on Monday. There's 3 or 4 that play football, and they all said wrestling is tougher, and they used that very word. So she dragged you out.
Yep.
Did you come kicking and screaming? How was it?
No, I actually came voluntarily.
Yeah. So why stay? It is tough.
It gives me something to do, and there's a thrill about it.
Oh, that's interesting. What's the thrill?
Just it gets my energy going, and once I'm going, I don't stop until I can't.
What year are you?
I'm a junior. This is my first year doing wrestling.
You gonna do it next year?
I think so.
Yeah. Have you had any matches?
Yes, I have.
How's that gone?
I just got my first one last weekend.
No way.
Yep. was very
Seriously?
thrilled. Yep.
That is way awesome. So, when I wrestled, there weren't any female wrestlers on Leominster, but there was always female wrestlers. If I saw a couple, that was it for the whole season. So, you two being on the team is very different, and I think it's just way cool. But what I do remember, the young ladies, guys do not want to lose to young ladies. So they have a tendency, my experience, you tell me if this is true, they're vicious. They're
Yes.
vicious.
They're try-hards. They will not lose to a girl, no matter what.
Yep.
So the bar, and I think that's one of the things that makes this sport is a tough sport. I'm going to ask you to try to give your best answer to this, because there's a lot of people that look at girls in a boy sport, especially this is a combat, tough, rough sport. It's tough on guys. I'm not saying that girls aren't tough, but you guys get beat up. How is it that you can take all of it? Because I think basically you've got to take a little bit more than the guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think it's a bigger deal for you guys to stay on the team. Your second year, you're going to be second year next year. You're through the whole season. You've been beat up, thrown around. I'm sure you've come off sometimes, I don't know, maybe there's tears in your eyes, but you kept coming back. What keeps you coming back?
Personally,
Yeah.
I love how everyone looks at you when you tell them that you're on the wrestling team. They show a lot of respect towards it, and it's just like amazing to most people that girls can wrestle. A lot of people don't think they can, but you can wrestle.
I agree. That put it all together.
I think the sport offers anyone who chooses to participate the opportunity to overcome something that's hard. It's one of the memories I have of this sport. I liked it because it was hard. And because it was hard, I was captivated by it. But you have to overcome levels of pain, discomfort, fear. And when you do, you just automatically feel better about yourself. And so I think the sport does have an addictive quality to it, because it enlarges you. It builds you bigger than when you started. But I got to tell you, none of it's easy. And I'm really impressed that there are two young ladies on the team. What year are you?
Junior.
You're a junior. So you'll both be together. Are you going to drag somebody else in? Are you recruiting?
Hopefully. Getting more girls on the team.
Yeah.
That's my goal.
Yeah. That would be awesome. That would be awesome. Now, you have 1 win.
3.
And you have 3 wins.
Thank you.
I think that's awesome.
Yeah.
Now, are those wins against guys?
Only 1.
1 against a guy.
Mine is against a girl, so.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you're lucky to be able to pull a girl in your weight class. I think, did I notice 1?
Yes.
Yeah. How come you guys? You're not suiting up tonight?
No, I have a fever, so I'm gonna sit out today.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So are you both going to sectionals, or are you JV?
JV.
You're both JV?
Yes.
Okay. All right. So maybe next year you change that.
Definitely.
Yeah. One of the things that helped me a ton was a wrestling camp. I don't know if that's something that you're looking into in the summer, but there's a lot of them around. Anthony, one of your team captains, is an avid wrestling camp wrestler, and I know he's been to a few. But it's a great opportunity if you just want to squeeze a little extra out of yourself for your final season, if you can take in a camp.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Ladies, great to talk to you. I think this is a great sport. I think you represent it so well. And if you do find a camp, I know it's going to take you a little bit further. And I look forward to seeing a few matches next year when you're out there.
Thank you.